Are you a QuickBooks Desktop user? Are you aware that as of August 1st, 2024, your software will no longer work if you have not upgraded to the version 2024? In the past, Intuit has sunset versions that were 3 years old as of May 31st annually. What this meant was that certain features would no longer work and they would not offer customer support. However, as long as you didn't need certain features such as credit card processing, payroll, and were fine not being able to import transactions, your version would still function, allowing you to continue to be able to do your bookkeeping in the older copy. As of now, this has changed. If you have not upgraded to 2024 by July 31st, your software will not function. It is imperative that you decide before the deadline what you will use to guarantee you can continue to do your bookkeeping.
Welcome to Biz Help for You, the show that saves you the expensive learning curve by providing advice from industry experts in every facet of the entrepreneurial journey. Too many small businesses collapse. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 20% fail within their first year, and less than 35% make it to their 10th anniversary. The goal of this podcast is to change that statistic. So if you're interested in learning more to be a successful entrepreneur, tune in today.
You have a few options. The first is to change to a different software entirely. If you are a very small business or your bookkeeping is quite simple, you may be able to switch to other software aimed at small businesses. One I have recommended because of its simplicity and entry-level free option is Wave Accounting. This is an online software which allows basic tasks such as posting your transactions, reconciling, and simple reports. If you use class tracking or more sophisticated reports, this option will not work for you. If your work is more complicated than can be done in Wave, there are other options available. Be sure to look at features, benefits, and pricing to determine which might be best for you. Some industries have software catered to their specific needs, so this might be a good option for you at this time. Secondly, you can migrate your desktop data into QuickBooks Online, known as QBO. By doing a migration, you will maintain your history and be able to keep going forward with little additional effort. However, certain things do not import, so be sure you review what will and won't, so you aren't surprised when you go to do something in the online version and the feature isn't available. I will include a link in the resources that you can review. And a little bit later in this podcast, I'll go over some of those details as well. As a bookkeeper who has worked with clients in both desktop and online, I can say that one feature I greatly dislike in QBO is the sales tax function. So if you collect sales tax, especially if in more than one jurisdiction, I highly recommend you review how this feature would work. The desktop version allows you to set up sales tax locations by district, such as counties or even cities with higher rates than the state. The sales tax liability report shows total taxable and non-taxable sales by that location, making it easy to know exactly what to report. In QBO, if you use the auto calculation feature, if a location is a higher rate than the state amount, it splits the tax into state, county, and city, but it doesn't give you the exact amount to report by location at a glance. You have to do extra work, which can be time-consuming if you have quite a few locations. It also can't take into consideration that you are a quarterly filer and a monthly prepay account, and it makes it especially difficult for the time you must pay over what has been collected. For example, California requires 135% of May's tax or 100% of May 1st through June 15th tax for the June 24th prepayment. There is no easy way for QBO to calculate this for you and show it in the sales tax module. And when you need to do an adjustment up or down for rounding, it doesn't allow you to post increases and decreases to the same item on the chart of accounts. You must put increases to an expense and decreases to income. I'd much rather see the plus and minus amounts offset each other in one sales tax adjustment account. In a few minutes, again, I'll explain many of the features that don't import from desktop to the online version so you can be informed to be able to make the best decision for yourself on which option to choose. Finally, you can choose to stay in the desktop version. However, you must upgrade to the 2024 version at a fee of $649 for one license. I purchased the subscription last year for $547.50, so the fee increased over $100 in 1 year. But I learned something about purchasing the desktop version that you will want to pay attention to. If you purchase the annual subscription this year, you will be forced into QBO next year. The only way you can avoid this is purchasing a 3 or 5 year license before July 15th. This is not advertised anywhere online, so you must call in to purchase the desktop version. I will put the phone number and the extension of the person I spoke to in my resources in the event you want to take advantage of this offer. Now that I've explained the 3 options that are available to you, let me go over some of the features that could cause an issue if selecting migrating from desktop to QBO. Number 1, attachments will need to manually be added to transactions after your data is moved. This could be a very tedious process, so if not saved outside of your software, you may want to do this and skip attaching the matching items in QBO. Number 2, budgets. Data moves, but budgets aren't recreated in QuickBooks Online due to mapping differences. Number 3, inventory. If you use units of measure for inventory, you will no longer have this feature as it isn't supported in QBO. Manufacturer's part numbers do not transfer over. And none of the inventory item fields move to the SKU fields. Number 4, multi-currency. Any transactions that use currencies in QuickBooks Desktop that do not exist in QuickBooks Online will not be migrated. And if there are any transactions with 3 currency types, they will not be imported. Number 5, payroll. Previous year's payroll history isn't moved over, and the details behind the transactions don't convert. You will need to set up all work location addresses, create employee payroll schedules, enter wages, and year-to-date balances. Number 6, QuickBooks Time. If you use this feature, timesheet data, pay item mappings, and settings and preferences do not move over into the online version. Number 7, price levels are not converted because QuickBooks Online currently doesn't have a way for you to automatically adjust prices of items. Number 8, mileage. You'll need to manually add previous mileage into QBO. Number 9, sales tax. As already discussed, this feature is less than desirable in the online version. Another issue is that sales tax payments made in QuickBooks Desktop apply to the wrong filings in QuickBooks Online. As a workaround, you can delete the migrated sales tax payments and then recreate them in the Sales Tax Center in QuickBooks Online. Number 10, if you created custom fields in any of your lists, such as clients or vendors, they do not migrate. Number 11, memorize transactions. If you use groups for any memorized transaction, they will not migrate as groups do not exist in QBO. Number 12, if your bookkeeping needs are basic enough to be able to use the Simple Start version of QBO, scheduled transactions can't be used. To avoid errors during the migration, you must first delete all scheduled transactions and templates in the desktop version. Number 13, for both customer and vendor lists, there are numerous fields that do not import. I won't explain all of them here, but they can be used using the link in the resources page. Number 14, if you created custom templates, they will not migrate into QBO. Number 15, Your shortcut list and icon bar settings don't navigate to the online version. QBO uses different shortcuts and navigation. Number 16, users and permissions. If you have any staff who are current users in the desktop, they will need to be invited and their roles created for them to have access. Number 17, if you use the audit trail report or have created your own memorized reports for easy access, these will not transfer. Number 18, progress invoices for customers and recurring payments for invoices to do migrate. Number 19, if you enter inventory through item receipts, the link between bills and purchase orders is broken. Open POs won't reflect items received, so the PO will need to be linked to the bill for them to show. Number 20, if you have marked items as billable in journal entries in the desktop version, these don't move into QBO. Number 21, pending sales do not import. And number 22, past reconciliation reports will not transfer to the online version. I know this can be a frustrating change. So if you need help migrating your data to QBO, reach out to us to discuss your needs. We'd be happy to help you make sure your data file is operable when your older desktop version is no longer accessible. We can be reached at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com. Don't delay. Contact us today. So many are unaware of this change. So if you know entrepreneurs, would you please share this episode with them so they can be aware of this upcoming change? I'd appreciate it, and I'm sure they would be thankful to you for making them aware of this important information. Thank you for tuning in today. Would you please share this episode with those you know and leave a review on your favorite platform? And if you find our show informative, would you consider being a financial sponsor to help me continue my mission to educate business owners? A link is located in the episode description, and no amount is too small. I'd really appreciate your support. If you are interested in connecting with our guest and receiving the offer they had to share, a link to our resource page is in the show notes. Finally, if you have any bookkeeping or payroll needs, reach out to us at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com. My team and I are eager to assist you. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Biz Help for You. Please join your host, Candy Messer, again next time. Have a terrific day.
Thank you for